Hello everyone, welcome back to Sunday Night Live. I hope you had a great weekend. I'm delighted and flattered because my guest tonight is Amina Muaddi. She's the founder of the namesake brand called Amina Muaddi. Amina was born in Jordan. She grew up in Romania and then she moved to Italy at age 16. She created her first brand in 2013. It didn't work out. And then she created a second brand, Amina Muaddi, in 2018, and it's a big success. Her shoes are must-haves. So I'm very delighted and flattered, as I said, to have Amina as a guest tonight. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a great weekend. Let me see if Amina is around. And of course, as usual, feel free to ask any questions you might have for Amina in comments. Fan from Sin City. That's so nice. Salut Jean-René. Paloma, I see you're around. Can you please ask Amina if she's here? I tried to send her an invite, but I don't think she's here yet. Coucou Laetitia, Tiziana. Thanks for joining. She's late. Harry. Yes, she's late. Are you with her? Hi from Montenegro. That's so nice. Nice glow. Thanks, Deli. So nice to hear. So Paris is here. I'm in the hotel while waiting for Amina. I'll show you around. I'll show you where I am. I'm at So Paris here. Can you see? It's beautiful and the view is amazing. Salut Laurent. That's so nice. I stay up late to watch this interview from China. That's so sweet. Thank you. Yeah, I know, it's beautiful. I'm very fortunate to have this location, this venue for Sunday Night Live. Let me try to reach Amina very quickly. Arriving very soon, amazing. Okay, in the meantime, I can tell you about this jacket that I'm wearing. Leo, I don't know if you're still around. It was made by a student. No, I think Leo is not a student, but he's definitely at IFM, Institut Français de la Mode. And he created this brand. It's called De Leo. And he's very brave. And it's a brand that connects NFTs and physical. And I'm very fortunate to wear his university jacket, his Teddy jacket. I love those. Yeah, nice jacket, I agree. I haven't figured out the NFT yet, how to get my NFT, but if Leo, you're around, you can tell us. Leo, I see you're around. Hi from Italy. Wow. So Leo, can you tell us what the connection is there? I see there's something for the NFT inside, but I don't know exactly how it works. I saw this, and apparently that's the thing to get the NFT, but I guess you'll have to come to Sunday Night Live, Leo. Hi, Eloise. Hi, everyone. Why did you decide to interview Amina? Actually, I met Amina at the Dior Couture show. I was with Maureen, the head of luxury at Facebook, and Maureen introduced me to Amina. And I've been willing to have Amina as a guest for a long time because for me she's such a daring and risk-taking entrepreneur. I really admire that. It's really the reason why I created Sunday Night Live. It's because I'm very inspired by entrepreneurs, who take risk, like Amina. Oh, I see she's here. Yeah, Leo, let's do that soon. Hello. Welcome,
Hey,
Amina.
how are you, Law?
Very good. And you?
I'm good as well.
How is it going? How is your weekend going?
My weekend is going well. Finally, a weekend in Paris at home, so I'm happy about that. It's going to be the only one this month, so
Wow, because you
only
went to
weekend
New
not
York.
working. Yeah, I was in New York and I'm about to go to Milan, so this weekend was just like off, relaxing. How about you?
So we're lucky to have you.
Thank
Um,
you. Thank you for having me.
I'm good, although I have this, I fractured my kneecap, so it's
Oh my God.
so annoying. The timing is really bad before Fashion Week.
And no high
So
heels.
yeah, no high heels. That's the worst. I can't wear your shoes. I'm so
I
sad.
wish you the speediest possible recovery.
Thank you. I'll make sure to get to do all the physiotherapy, etc., to be able to wear your shoes soon, as soon as possible.
I hope so. I hope so.
So let's jump right in, Amina. I always like to start these conversations with the childhood. I think you were born in Jordan. Is that correct? Or
Actually,
you grew up there?
I was born in Romania because my mom went to Romania to give birth to me because my grandmother, her mom lived there, so she wanted to have her support. And then shortly after, a few weeks later, we went back to Jordan because we were living in Jordan, and I lived in
Mm-hmm.
Jordan until I was 6 years old.
And how was it like? How was your childhood like? In Jordan first and then in Romania?
Well, in Jordan, we were living with my brother's sisters and brothers. So we were in close houses. So I remember my childhood filled with my cousins, kids running around, playing around, and I had a big family. So I have those memories of just playing with my cousins and being like a lot of children running around the house and spending time with my grandfather and grandmother. And then when I left Jordan to move to Romania with my mom, it was quite the opposite because I was an only child. So I went and spent a lot of time just with my grandmother and my grandfather and my mom, of course.
Mm-hmm. And were you in a multicultural environment?
Which one of them?
Both.
No, I think, as far as my childhood, I was very, in Jordan, I was with only my cousins, which were my family, and they were Jordanian. And then when I moved to Romania, I was actually just with Romanian kids. And I think I was the only diverse person in that
Mm-hmm.
environment. It's a small town, and there were not a lot of people that came from different backgrounds except myself.
Mm-hmm. And then you moved to Italy at age 16, I believe.
Yes, I moved to Italy. I basically moved to Italy when I started high school. So I went to high school in Italy, and then
Mm-hmm.
after high school, I did high school in Brescia in Italy, and then I moved, which is a town near Milan, and then I moved to Milan for university.
Mm-hmm. And I read that during your studies, you prepared a Vogue Romania issue. Can you tell us
Yes,
about that? I think that's
yes.
amazing.
Honestly, it was such a fun project because my dream was to be at the time was to be a fashion editor, and I wanted to do a special project in Romania. There was no Vogue magazine. The only fashion magazine, international fashion magazine, was Elle at the time. So I felt like it would be such a fun project to do. So we did a whole magazine with editorials, covers, stories, travel. Everything that you have in a regular magazine, and it was such a special and hard project to make. I had to get an art director, get stylists to help me with some of the photo shoots. So it was like most of them I did myself. It was like a really intense project, but it was my graduation project, and the teachers loved it, and that's what kind of like got me my first internship with Bridal Vogue, and then my first job with the L'Uomo
Wow.
Vogue. So
Wait, because did you send them what you had done with Vogue Romania? Did you send?
yes, my school sent it to Condé Nast.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Such a great way to start a career in fashion. But wait, do you recall the moment when you knew you wanted to work in fashion? Did you have in the US, you say,
Yeah, I
aha
said it.
moment?
No, I said it many times. You know, I wanted to work in fashion since I was 9. My mom, she didn't work in fashion, but she had like fashion magazines that would be my only way to have access to fashion. And my aunt lived in Italy since I was, I think, 7 years old. So she would bring, magazines, and she had beautiful clothes and things that I would never see before, and I didn't see before, and I didn't have access to before. So it just really opened like a universe for me. And I would always read my mom's fashion magazines. And so as I grew, I started just like all my savings. I would like want to buy the fashion magazines that I would be able to. And I told my mom when I was 9, how can I work here, showing her the Elle fashion magazine that I was reading. And at the time my mom told me, I don't know, probably you have to study journalism. And that just led up to realizing once I was in high school that there were fashion universities and fashion schools. So that was kind of like a super obvious choice for me. And
And was it always about shoes, or you were also interested in clothes and shoes happened by chance?
No, I was always interested in fashion. I've always been interested in creativity in general, but I always had a passion for shoes. So I knew that if I was going to create a line, I knew I wanted it to be a shoe line. And for me, it was, I think I love the process of creativity in general, but I'm really passionate about accessories and particularly shoes, because it's such a different category. It feels more like a sculpture that you build from scratch, and
especially your shoes. Wow, God, they are spectacular.
Thank you so much. I think what's important with with shoes is that they usually look good also when you see them on display versus clothes. They kind of go to life when you try them on. And I don't know, I've always been attracted by shoes as an object and fascinated. I would try all my mom's shoes. As soon as she would leave the house, that was my biggest hobby, to go in her closet and try all her shoes.
How many pairs of shoes do you have right now? I'm curious.
I have no idea. I lost count. Imagine, like, I order, let's say, half of my collection, each collection. So I like to have at least, one style of everything I do. And many.
And are you like a Cinderella? Like every shoe fits you? There are some women who are very lucky with their feet, not me, but who can wear any shoes. Is that your case?
I mean, I have a very high arch, so the shoes that have like straps or are very tight on the arch, I struggle with because they are a bit painful for me. Every foot has its thing, So I don't believe that every woman can wear every type of shoe. There are shoes that will feel comfortable to me because I have a specific type of foot that won't be as comfortable to you. So I just try to make shoes that kind of feel good on every foot, but not every shoe can feel good on absolutely every foot,
I'd like to go back to your entrepreneur because I want to focus on entrepreneurship. It's as I was saying, it's so impressive how daring you've been. And I read that when you you were not interning, you were working at GQ, right, in New York?
I was working as a fashion assistant. I interned and then I was working as a fashion assistant.
And your boss told you don't have to wait to create your brand. Just start it.
So when I basically started working, I had an amazing experience there, but I just didn't feel fulfilled, and I didn't feel how to say, I feel like if you are not extremely passionate about what you do, you cannot be excellent and excel at what you do. So I felt like I would do a mediocre job because I wasn't as passionate as I thought I would be about it. So I spoke to my boss, because he was also a friend, about, you know, my struggles and what my dreams were. And I just thought it would be impossible to, you know, start working on a brand this early. I was 26 at the time. I had just started, you know, working a few years before that. So sorry, I was 25 at the time. And then I launched my brand when I was 26. So it was just like, I didn't feel it would be possible to start that fast. And my boss was really, you know, supportive, and also just believed in me. And that made me also believe in myself more. And not just him, there were just multiple people that at the time told me, you know, you can do this and you don't have to wait. And I mean, this was 10 years ago. So I've been doing this for 10 years now.
And there are many young designers who don't know after their studies if they should right away create their brands or join a big company. Is that something you would definitely recommend, or with now you're thinking it would have helped to have?
Depends how much money they can waste.
Yeah, that's such a good answer.
I think if you want to learn, it's better to learn on somebody else's money, because definitely there are a lot of challenges. You can get lucky and it can be perfect from the beginning, but that rarely happens. I think it's what is important is I think what is important is to take your time and learn and have experiences, if you can, with other brands or with other professionals in the sector, and just follow them and be mentored and learn. And then when you launch your own project, whether you decide to invest in it or you have investors, or however you decide to start the project, you already have that, you know, that basic knowledge, and you already have the ability to not make those initial mistakes that many designers make, that I made, that most of us make.
So it speeds up the process when you have this.
I think it's you know, like we made a lot of mistakes. I had a lot of issues. I had a lot of problems with my first brand. We struggled a lot. We had to get another investor. It was like, entrepreneurship is like a very big challenge. And I think if you are a great designer, that doesn't mean you can be a great entrepreneur. Like, you have to want to have that stress and that weight on your shoulders.
But you have it. You have both.
Because that's what I wanted. And I really think you have to be determined, because it's not easy to be an entrepreneur. And you have a lot of responsibility, and you have a lot of, you, as I said, you carry a lot of weight on your shoulders, and you're responsible not just for yourself, but also for everybody that works with you and that is involved with you in the project. So it's very important to be aware of that. And when you go on a path like that, to know that, you know, there are going to be a lot of difficult moments, and that you just have to push forward and you know, try to be positive, and don't allow yourself to quit when things get hard, because they will.
And do you know where this drive that you have, determination, persistence, do you know where it comes from?
I think, one, from the passion that I have for what I do, and two, you know, I think it was also the idea that I don't have a plan B. It was, this is what I wanted to do, and I didn't have a plan B for my life. So I wanted to do whatever it takes to succeed. And on one side, but on the other side, I was led and driven by my passion. If I wasn't passionate about it, as I said, I wouldn't have been good at it.
Right. And as you mentioned, the first brand, you made some mistakes. The second brand,
with my second brand, I make new mistakes. We never stop learning, and we never stop making mistakes. And what matters is to not allow yourself to, you know, get discouraged by the mistakes, and just learn from them and take them always as a lesson.
And how long did it take for you after your first brand until you said, okay, I'm ready to get back into the action? I'm ready to launch my own brand, my own second brand.
I mean, this was always my plan, because as I mentioned, this is what I wanted to do. This was my dream. This was my passion. And I couldn't see myself doing something else at the time. So I just needed, to take a moment and take a break and reassess, the past 6 years of like everything, the past 6 years of my life before that moment were, just pursuing the dream of that brand. And I took a break and just started thinking about who am I today? What was my evolution as a human, as a designer, as a woman in the past 6 years? And I wanted my new brand to reflect who I had become. And I think I took time to understand that, to sit with myself, and then started working on new products and new ideas. And I just wanted the identity of my brand to feel like me, but at the same time, the evolved version of me and the woman that I had become the moment that I launched the brand.
So the shoes were very different from the first brand. From the products, I mean, they were different because it was reflecting your new self, basically.
Yes, of course.
And the business model was different too, I'm sure, because you've learned from so much from your first brand.
Yes, of course. It was different. When I started my first brand, I didn't have stores. I didn't know people. I didn't know buyers. I didn't know how distribution works. I didn't know anything about the business. I just was a young girl with passion and with a collection, and I just wanted for people to see it and hopefully to love it. And when I started this brand, I started from, of course, a different privileged position because, of course, I knew all my customers that I had at that point, and many of the people that I had worked with in the past supported me and waited, for me to start a new project. So, of course, it was different, and I was more mature as a designer, as a person. I had a different. I was on my own. I started the business on my own, and I really wanted to do it on my own terms from A to Z.
And you're widely distributed now. It's not only direct distribution, you're also at Bergdorf, you're everywhere.
We only do wholesale distribution so far. We never did direct to consumer. Yes.
Is that something that you'd like to have, your own store?
It's something I will have. We are actually starting. We're launching our e-commerce this fall in the following months. So that is the first step. It will be, the first step towards retail for us, and it's going to be our universe online. We started our brand. I started the brand with 10 top retailers worldwide. This is how I wanted to do it. I wanted us to be exclusive and to start small and not to rush. And in the past 4 years, it's been 4 years since I launched the brand, we raised our wholesale distribution, but we've always had a strategy of growing with our partners and not divide too much and not spread the distribution too much, and to just have a continuous growth, but we didn't rush the growth. So that was very important for us. And in spite of the demand, we try to, of course, give enough supply, but also be aware of the difficulties of growing very fast. And this is the time that we feel we're ready to start with e-commerce and to give our customers a way to directly interact with us.
Wow. That's very innovative to start with wholesale, to start with clients only, because many brands, young brands are launching DTC, are launching their own website first, and then they are expanding to wholesale. I think that's very interesting.
I think you have to do, as a brand, you have to do what works for you. And for our brand image, for our brand DNA, we wanted to be established first within our wholesalers. We wanted our representation to have flags worldwide and to have a proper representation. And then when we're ready to do our own.
Okay, so this fall, we can't wait.
Yes.
When exactly?
Me too.
Do you know?
Me too. It will be between October and November.
Mhm.
We'll give a specific date when we're ready.
Great. And what is it do you think about your shoes that make them must-haves? Everyone wear them. Beyonce, Rihanna, Hailey Bieber, you name it. So what is it about the shoes? Is that the heel?
I don't think it's one thing only, you know. I think, you know, a great shoe is a combination of multiple elements.
Mm-hmm.
It's a combination of comfort, of beauty, of a shoe has always been an object of desire, and I think it's also an impulse purchase for ladies and for people in general. I think
Yes,
um,
there's so much psychology in the shoes, almost like a guilty pleasure, right?
yes, it is, and it's something that I don't know. I would be sad. I would go through a moment in life. I would, only a pair of shoes would make me feel better. You know, I think there's a different type of it's a purchase for the soul also when you when you when you buy a shoe. So I definitely think a great shoe is a mix of you know a product that makes you feel something when you see it and you have that
Mm-hmm.
feeling, I have to have this shoe, I have to try it on, of comfort, of beauty, of adaptability. You know, a great shoe for me is a shoe that you can wear with so many different things and in so many different occasions. So for me it was very important that I create shoes that are not all of them, because some of them are more sculptural and they're more special, and you know, through some of them I just want to be able to create whatever I envision in that moment. But many times I think of multiple elements. I want them to be beautiful, I want them to be comfortable, and I want them to be able to be easily worn with so many different looks, from a gown to a pair of jeans to whatever you feel like.
Mm-hmm. We have a question. What goes into design process for the perfect Amina shoe? I know you've worked a lot with manufacturers in Italy to
Yeah.
create the perfect shoes.
Yes, we only work with manufacturers in Italy, and every single component of our shoes is made in Italy. I think for us, it's been, as I said, you know, for us personally, I like to start with the last. You know, have a
Mm-hmm.
great last, because I think when you have a great last and a great heel, which is the structure, the base of the shoe, then you can create so many designs on it. And
Mm-hmm.
when you have a beautiful last and a beautiful heel, a beautiful structure, it's so easy to design. If
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the last, and if I don't like the heel, if I don't see the you know, there's an architecture behind it, and that's what matters to me also in a shoe, to feel like there is an architectural and design element of balance. And once you have
Mm-hmm.
that, it's so easy to design so many different styles on each last. But if I don't like the basics, the base of what I have to work with, it's hard to come up with good designs.
Right. And the heels that you have are many of them are pyramid, right? And
Yes, let's say that's our signature silhouette, and it's a silhouette that helped make the brand popular in the beginning when I launched.
because it's instantly recognizable, we can tell it's
Yes,
your shoes. And
yes,
you said it's modern. It's still chic. It's like stilettos, but with a twist.
yes. I you know, when I did this heel, I actually had, you know, designed the whole collection, and I just felt like it was missing something. I felt like they are nice, they are chic, but I felt like they were missing an edge that I wanted them to have. And you know, I was thinking, you know, throughout the history of shoes, there's so many beautiful shapes, flared heels, chunky heels, every type of heel. And I thought, like, I really love stilettos, and I really want my heels to the heel to look like a stiletto on the collection. But then, you know, replacing it with a flared heel, the shoe would look chunkier, heavier, and I didn't want to lose that aspect of lightness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when I thought about, you know, just creating a stiletto heel and ending it like a huge flared heel. So that was
Mm-hmm.
kind of the process behind it. And I just, you know, designed it, and I went to make it in a day. And then it looked so good that basically we replaced almost all the heels in the collection with that heel. And it just looks so good on almost every style.
Mm-hmm. So what do you envision for the future of Amina Muaddi?
What do I envision?
Yeah.
Definitely, growth, structuring the company more and more, providing my team with the best support they can have. Um, of course, retail in the future is something that we work on, and just growing the brand in a healthy, sustainable way, for our business to never be compromised.
And did you know, you knew it would take off, you knew it would be a success, your second brand? I mean,
I didn't know.
You didn't know?
No.
Of course you
You
knew.
cannot know. You cannot know. You can hope for it, and you can hope that what you do, people like what you do, but I never expected it, to be, I didn't know what was going to happen. With my first brand, I spent years struggling and making people notice what I did, and, making my product known. And I didn't expect for the brand to take off so quickly and for people to like it this much. Of course, I hoped for it, but it was far beyond my expectations.
Was it overwhelming at some point where you're like, oh, I'm scared?
It's always overwhelming. It's always
Right.
overwhelming. In the beginning, of course, I was extremely happy and ecstatic. And then, as the company grows, and, they call them pains of growth for a reason, you have a lot of struggles to deal with. And, my goal is to build, as I said, a healthy company that doesn't compromise in design, in anything that we do. So, we're always overwhelmed, but the spirit of an entrepreneur is to always find solutions, no matter what happens, and to see everything that comes to you not as a block, but as something to work with and to work on.
Right.
And to improve.
So do you see social media as part of your development? As you said, for now you don't sell on your website.
No, but of course, social media was a part of my social media was such a big part of my growth as a brand and exposure, because when I started the brand, I didn't have a PR agency. I didn't have a press officer. It was just literally me and my assistant who started, and then my distribution team who was outsourced, let's say. So I just had one employee when I started, and I had to do everything by myself. When you start a business, you are the designer, the creator, the social media manager, the CEO, right, the CMO, and I started like that.
How many followers did you have when you started your second brand, let's say?
To be honest, I don't remember. Maybe 100,000, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you grew a lot. You have over 1 million now. 1.3
I grew a lot
million.
in every way. I grew as a person, as a designer, in age, unfortunately. So I better grow also in followers. It's normal.
Of course. Well, before it's already 6:35. It goes too fast. But before we wrap up this conversation, I would like to read what Virgil Abloh said about you during his speech. It was so beautiful. Is that okay if I read it?
Sure.
This evening, so it was in Doha when he awarded you with the prize, Entrepreneurship Prize. Is that correct?
Entrepreneur of the Year.
Entrepreneur of the Year. So he said, this evening, I want to give you an Entrepreneur Award to a woman who does our industry wonders. She's led by her excellence in creativity, her personality, and perseverance. I met her many months ago in many different scenes in Milan or in Paris, when we were both just trying to get our brands to be at a place where they could receive an award or present an award like this. I could go on and on, but I'm very sure this room is familiar with this woman's work. That's so beautiful.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it was a very emotional moment for me, and I didn't know it would be the last in person. So it means so much more, even though it meant a lot at the moment. It meant so much that, he did this, and all the beautiful words that he said, and, he literally, after that, texted me so much more. And he was one of the most supportive people that I met, not just with me, but with all his friends. Like, he only had words of praise and positivity, and he would make you believe in yourself, even if you didn't, you know. So it was a very special moment for me. But also I learned from him, you know, to appreciate and enjoy these moments, but also not to take them, you know, too seriously, because we do what we do because we love what we're doing, not to win awards, you know.
Yeah.
Even though it's you know, it's of course an amazing recognition, and you know, to have him be there in that moment and share it together, it was very meaningful for me.
And you have lots in common with Virgilia Blow. I mean, you didn't train as a designer. You don't have a classic education as a designer. You had a vision, and you were driven by your vision.
I mean, I studied at the European Institute of Design. We studied fashion communication, but we had many classes in common with the design classes. So the design course. So basically, you know, I kind of, you know, started also realizing more and more that I wanted to do that while I was in school. So part of me wished I took the other class, but I think also that's what made me have a different approach on my work, and I guess everything happens the way it's meant to be. So I feel like every designer works with a different approach, and the way, you know, Virgil worked was you know, mostly through WhatsApp, and just because he was traveling so much in you know, the world, and having so many projects, it was his way of doing things. And even, you know, when we would talk about ideas, and everything was through WhatsApp with him. Versus I think I like to be a mix between being at the office and being, you know, I like to go and collect ideas and get inspired, but then I like to go back in the office with my team and just feed off of those ideas and start working on the projects. And I like to also be
You
there.
like the balance.
Yes, for sure.
How many people do you have in your team? That was a question that we had. So many questions for you. I'm sorry we can't take them all. But...
Well, I have a few people in Italy, because our distribution and our logistics, since our factories are in Italy, our logistic companies in Italy, and the distribution is in Italy. So we have a few people there. And then in Paris, I think we're about 12 people now. It's a very small company.
Yeah, but you had one, as you said, in 2018 before the pandemic, and you had a pandemic in the meantime, by the way.
And in Italy, we have around 8 people working on our project. So yeah, I would say around 20 people.
Great. One of the questions we had was, how many languages do you speak?
Well, I speak English, I speak Italian, I speak Romanian, I speak a little bit of French, and a little bit of Spanish.
Wow.
So I would say 4 if you count the 2 as one.
Well, I only speak 2, so that 4 is really great. And is there something about you that we would be surprised about, that would surprise us?
I wouldn't know. I like to cook.
Okay. That's a fun fact. Actually, when I was this about me, I had no idea what to answer, and I said I practice yoga, but that's so lame.
Someone asked me if I speak Arabic. Well, my Arabic was my first language, and when I left Jordan when I was 6, I stopped speaking Arabic, and that's one of my biggest regrets. So I would love to get my Arabic language back.
Okay,
if there's any Arabic teacher on this live, they can contact me after.
Maybe. This woman radiates so much energy. That's true. Well, thank you so much, Amina. It was delightful.
Thank you so much.
Favorite food? We keep having questions. So what's your favorite food?
Pasta.
Okay. Sure, value. So next week, my guest is Tata Harper, and I believe you like her products, right?
Yes, yes, I love her products.
So I hope you can join us next Sunday, 6 p.m.
I will.
That would be fun.
From Milan.
Well, you'll be between shows, so you'll do your best, but that would be really nice.
To get some beauty tips. Always good to get some beauty tips.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and see you next week. And Amina, see you at the shows with my crutches.
Oh, you'll rock
So.
them. I'm sure you will. I'm not worried about you.
Thank you. Ciao.
I wish you speedy recovery though, so that you can
Thanks
get back
again.
into heels soon.
Soon.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks
you.
again.
Bye.
Bye. Ciao.